negotiate. Mason Mount. He's Scott. Just past the half hour. Chelsea having another good spell. Sterling. He's a cruncher of a challenge. Maguire did him a favour by getting up to his feet quickly because he thought he was going to win the throw.
It was a loose touch, wasn't it? And then he's got no right to get to the ball, really, and he makes something out of nothing. Fortunate ricochet. Does look like a Chelsea ball. That's good play from Sterling.
It was just pure determination. Okay, Liverpool now spending a lot of time without the ball in their possession, which is tiring. Still no breakthrough goal for the Blues, though. Chalobah. Behind the ball at the moment for Liverpool. Chelsea happy to be patient. Again, Scott doing well under pressure. It was Matt Virtue that time trying to out-muscle him. Lifted over the top for the Mount. Here's Mount again, got it back from Ugbo. Maybe caught in two minds as to whether to go for the far corner or try and pick out Christy Davis.
Yeah, it's a nice build-up play again. A lot of the balls that have been almost pitched into the front players have normally ended at the feet of a Chelsea player. They've recycled the ball really well. The further forward midfield players and the striker got hold of it. I think that was a cross-come shot, like you said, Matt, from Mount. Not really one thing or the other and just sails harmlessly wide, but yeah, it's difficult. It's quite puzzling to see what Liverpool are trying to do. They're almost sitting in, but they're not breaking with any real pace on the counter-attack, and it's been pretty comfortable for Chelsea without getting that goal.
Wilson. Really too strong for him. Scott could only just dangle a leg at that. Phillips ball forward, looking for the very isolated Brooks Lennon in attack. Sterling to the rescue this time. Virtue keeping Liverpool on the front foot, though. Header from Chalobah. Scott and Mount swapping passes. Mount looking to release Ugbo. He's got pace to burn. Goalkeeper came a long way from home. But to be fair to him, he dealt with it very well, Grabara.
He did, great goalkeeping. Like I touched on earlier, Ugbo's going to have that pace in behind. That was a really nice bit of play again from Chelsea, really incisive. Great little through ball. And the goalkeeper's starting position must have been really high. Does very well.
De Silva. Here's Mason Mount. Oh, he should have made it 1-0. Great opportunity. Couldn't keep it on target.
Yeah, again, come down from that left-hand side. Nice little cutback, perfect. Takes a good touch, steadies himself, and you're expecting that to find the corner of the net. Best chance of the game.
Just falling as he struck it. And he came off his ankle rather than his laces. I think he'll be pretty pleased with what he's seen so far, Adi Vivash. Anything but the goal for Chelsea. Collins yet to have anything of any significance to do in the Chelsea goal. Saw there as Ugbo was challenging for that ball that Mount was trying to get close to him just in case he won it and could get onto the second ball. And that is so important, as we often say, when you've got just the one focal point of the attack. Here's Lennon. Quintero quick to recover the error. Chalobah giving away a free kick.
Yeah, a couple of the players just overdoing it a tad. Quintero should have moved the ball quicker. And Chalobah as well, taking a little bit of a loose touch. Does well there initially to win the ball back, almost getting each other's way.
The way the game's gone, Liverpool will want to make the most of every set piece they get. It's gone toward Wilson, who jumped a second or two too early. Not sure Brad Collins really wanted that. Controlled it nicely on his chest, but didn't have any other option but to shovel it into the stand. Lewis. Here's Phillips. Christy Davies couldn't hold him up. Silva, who's half the size, is easily able to nudge him off the ball, though, and win a free kick. Maybe a little fortuitously looking at the replay. So I alluded to Chelsea's participation in the EFL Trophy. It was the Johnstone's Painters, you'd have known it last season. Chelsea, one of the 16 Category 1 development teams who've been entered. And they've been drawn in Southern Group C alongside Swindon, Oxford and Exeter. You have one academy team per group. You've won that competition in your past. What do you make of the idea to add academy sides into it?
I think it'll certainly make it more competitive, make it harder to win. Not sure I'd have been best pleased when I was playing at that level in the lower leagues, but I think it'll be really interesting. I wouldn't like to say that the league teams will be too strong. I think these development squads will go up against them and maybe have too much quality, honestly, for the league sides. You know, especially given the amount of games I've seen Chelsea, the way they've played, and the way that some of the lone players have gone into the Football League, even in this early stage of the season, and have adapted so quickly. I think it'll be really tough for a League One or a League Two side to win it this year, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of gates they're going to get, because I know a lot of the clubs are quite opposed to it. Some have been quite vocal in their opposition, but I think it'll make it more competitive, and I think the competition did need something to happen, because in those early rounds, no one attends them. The games aren't competitive; they're almost like reserve team fixtures. So I think it needed a shake-up. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and they had to bring in a rule a couple of years ago whereby you had to play a certain number of players who played in the previous league game. That was how it was treated by the Football League clubs. But Adi Vivash is certainly looking forward to it, because he's going to face a couple of his old sides in Swindon and Oxford.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He'll be looking forward to it. And yeah, like you rightly say, when I was playing in League Two, League One, the last thing you wanted really in that early stage of the season was another fixture, a bit of a meaningless fixture at that early stage, another 90 minutes, potentially 120 minutes, with no one really there. Nobody turns up for the early stages of the JPT. Gets serious, obviously, when you get towards the latter stages and the chance of going to Wembley. So hopefully the earlier rounds will be more competitive. We'll see bigger attendances.
Is that eternally difficult question of how do you get experience into players who are playing at academy level football? Well, this is one way to try and do that. See how successful the experiment is over the next few months.
Well, what an experience it would be for these players to get to Wembley. Would be sensational, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a carrot that's dangled in front of them. It's going to be interesting to see how they match up as well. I remember we saw Benfica come here in the Premier League International Cup last season, and they were one of the only teams we've seen in the last few years who totally bossed Chelsea from start to finish, and they play in the second tier of Portuguese football. A young chap called Renato Sanchez, who's gone on to do pretty well over the last year, was the star of the show on that night. He did notice the difference in players who play in competitive fixtures.
You'd be foolish not to be a little bit concerned about the physical element. I know there will be at Chelsea, the physicality of League Two sides and League One sides. Some of these boys here, Carl Scott's probably an example, takes a lot of punishment even in development games. So him going up against bruising central midfield players who have played hundreds of games in the Football League, it will be a difficult challenge for them, and that's they may get kicked off the park by some of these sides, not by the likes of Exeter, my former club, who obviously play total football, Matt.
Of course. Here's Christy Davis. Almost ricocheted fortuitously off Mount. Chelsea looking for what would be a deserved lead, I think it's fair to say, to take into half-time, which is just a couple of minutes away now. Chaloba. Okay, referee quick on his whistle. Wilson, the man penalised that time. Sterling. Trying to shrug off Brannigan, wasn't able to do so, but made sure his team kept the ball. That's going to be the message from Adi Vash in a couple of minutes' time then.
I think he'll have been really pleased, especially with that midfield quartet. I think they've done really well, and I think Liverpool haven't really got to grips with them, but this is what AD want to see more. Centre-halves have got a free one back there all the time, and he's been breaking in quite frequently, Chaloba, and that causes them another problem. But I think just a little bit quicker in the final third and just keep getting bodies up alongside Ugbo, and they just need to be more clinical. They've bossed the game, should be in front, and AD will be hoping they take one of the chances early in the second half, because certainly their possession and their players deserve that.
Scott again reluctant to shoot from distance. Maybe it's because we've been spoiled with Casey Palmer over the past couple of years, but this seemed to have been a feature of the first half.
They've been very bright though, I think, on the ball. They've been very neat, all the players, and at this early stage of the season that surprised me a little bit. They've all been their control's been tight, they've moved the ball nicely, and Liverpool really coming forward. I'm not entirely sure how they're set up, what they're trying to achieve. They're kind of just sitting in. But it's been a dangerous tactic so far.
Yeah, you think that Michael Beale will surely be trying to find a way to get somebody up somewhere near Brooks Lennon, who's hardly kicked the ball, the Liverpool number 9, in the first half.
Well, it's not reminiscent of how the first team are playing, because, yeah, they may get bodies behind the ball, but they break quick with intent and pace, and there's been none of that, really. It's been all alone up there, the front player. And they've looked most dangerous, really, from wide areas, a couple of set pieces, and that's been that.
Just the one extra minute at the end of the half, and we are into it now.
The fourth officials indicated that there will be a 1 minute additional time.
Rabara. Field by Maguire, who was one of several players in this team. He played against Exeter in the FA Cup for the first team for Liverpool back in January. And Jurgen Klopp had a rude awakening to how congested the English football fixture list gets come Christmas time. Sterling. One last chance if Chelsea are quick about it. So it is 0-0 at half-time. Chelsea will be wondering how. Jay De Silva had a couple of opportunities. Camille Grabara has certainly been the busier of the two goalkeepers. Mason Mount maybe ought to have put Chelsea in front. The Blues have certainly been the better side, but at the break, it is goalless at Aldershot.